you doing? My name is Bernadette Henry of Make It Fun NYC, where I make jump rope and exercise as a whole more fun and exciting for anyone looking to live a healthy and active lifestyle. Make It Fun is a lifestyle brand focused on getting fit physically, mentally, and emotionally, okay? I am a wife. I am a mom of 3 children, 2 of them special needs, and I use jump rope as a tool to inspire the world and the community and to make the world a better place, okay? Also, I'm a coach for individuals looking for a way to keep fitness forefront while making lifestyle changes, okay? Just a little bit more about me so you can know like who I am. I know some of you may watch me on a regular basis, but you don't kind of know like who I am or the things that I've done. So I've judged the Golden Glove. So that's like the USA Boxing. That is the amateur boxing division. I was a judge for that. I studied jump rope under 2 former middleweight boxers, Michael Olajide Jr. and Stephen Johnson. I also participated in the World Jump Rope Power Competition in the Arnold Sports Fest, and I came out of there with 3 medals. 2 were bronze, 2 were silver, 1 was bronze, and speed, double unders, and jump rope burpees. As a result of everything that I've been doing, I was featured on multiple platforms. The few that I'll name is the Dr. Oz Show, a performance with Tribeca Film Fest, BronxNet News, the Today Show, Good Morning America, Fabulous Magazine, Slate Magazine, Madame Noir blog, several radio shows, and so many more features that are around floating around, okay? Outside of jump rope, I am a mental health case manager, and I have been doing that for about 20 years. Part of that time I worked in HIV AIDS. The rest of the time is mental health. I started out working in the MRDD population, now known as the OPWDD population. So this is a little about me, and everything that I've done has always been around that topic of helping people. I am a helper in nature, and this is what I do when it comes to jump rope, or when it comes to my job, or when it comes to coaching women, okay? It's my passion. So today we're gonna get into the topic, and basically the topic today is ways to avoid jump rope injury. Now, I talk about jump rope all the time. Jump rope is a phenomenal, amazing workout. It's a great tool that you can use to get a phenomenal workout in a little bit of time. So I always say 10 minutes of jump rope is equivalent to a 30-minute jog on a treadmill at 6.5 miles an hour. And the reason why it is so is because jump rope is difficult. Like, it's not as easy as it looks. So you're doing so much with you're doing so many things with different parts of your body at the same time. So it's like you're always in a constant motion. You can't not turn the rope and not jump, or vice versa. Like, you always have to be doing something. And this is why it makes it different from doing like your treadmill or your elliptical or your running or your jogging. And I'm not dismissing the other exercises. They're all necessary. But if you are a busy working mom, you don't have time to travel to the gym, you don't have time to like take that 30 minutes to travel, then maybe 30 minutes to change your clothes, and then your warm-up time, then your workout time, then your cool down time, then your stretch time, then you got to go back home. Like, if you are a busy mom, you don't have time for all of that. That's already maybe 2-3 hours out your day, okay? So with the jump rope, you could do it anywhere, anytime, any place for the most part. All you need to do, if you live in a building where you can jump, or if you can jump in your apartment, or if you can jump outside of your apartment, you need a little space. Even if you can't go to a gym and you have a place, you know, if it's cold, you have somewhere you can jump, you can get it in, okay? And all you need is about 10 to 15 minutes. But of course, jump rope is so fun, you may find yourself doing it more, okay? However, the problem with jumping rope is sometimes people hear about these amazing benefits and they're so ready to just dive right in without knowing the proper way. In an ideal world, we would have warning signs, if possible, to avoid mistakes in everything that we do. And avoiding jump rope or avoiding mistakes will help you with your jump rope and the most positive way, and it will work in your favor. So I'm going to tell you about 10 ways which you can avoid injury, okay? That is a pet peeve of mine, because I know a lot of people, they start jumping and they're like, I hurt myself, but you got to learn. And even like online, when I'm scrolling online, I see a lot of people that's jumping with ropes that's like entirely too long, or the surface they're jumping on, or their form. It's just a lot of different things I see, but I don't want to like address everyone, because some people become highly offensive, you know, because it's like, they're like, who are you to be telling me X, Y, and Z? So I mind my business. And I do things like this. I educate the people that actually want to know. So, number one, do not jump with a rope that is too long or too short. Number one, do not jump with a rope that is too long or too short. When your rope is too long or too short, you will compromise your form to compensate for the length of the rope, okay? So a lot of times people will say that the rope, that they're unable to jump over the rope, but they have to jump high over the rope. And the reason so is when your rope is long, there's going to be a lag. So when the rope is very long, instead of it coming straight under your foot, it's going to drag on the floor, and you're going to have to jump like higher to try to get over that rope. So when your rope is sized correctly, you're able to just jump over it, you know. And the correct size for your jump rope should be the very tip of your shoulder, your armpit, or your chest. If you're very like new to the rope, I would say the very tip of your shoulder. If you are kind of comfortable, I would say the armpit. And if you just want to jump for speed, or you just want to like just do regular basic jumps, I would say to your armpit, okay? The shorter your rope, the faster it cuts through the air, and you will be in correct form. A lot of times when people's rope is too long, what they do, they end up start doing things like sticking out their arms because the rope is too long, or they'll start doing all kinds of things. And now when your rope is too long, when you're sticking out your arms, guess what? Now your arms are more tired. You're not going to feel like doing a 10 to 15 minute jump rope because your arms are tired. Your arms literally should be to your sides, and you're using your wrist to turn, okay? If your rope is too short, guess what? You're not going to be able to jump over that rope. So the size of your rope is very important. I preach this all the time, and most of your jump rope problems can be solved when the rope is sized correctly, okay? Number two, do not jump too high or land incorrectly, okay? Now, the jump rope is a little piece of material. Like if you have a PVC cord, the rope is like just about this thin. If you're jumping with a weighted rope, okay, the rope might be like this thick. But the whole point being is that you only need to jump high enough to clear the rope. Yes, it includes the handles. You only need to jump high enough to clear the rope, okay? So if the rope, like I said, is this thick, you do not need to jump super high, because you're not trying to clear a bucket, a fence, and things like that. And when you're jumping too high, guess what you're doing? Now you're putting more impact on your joints, your ankles, your feet. You only need to jump high enough to clear the rope. So if you watch me when I do my 10 sets of 100 jumps, that's like my base workout that I do like all the time. If you watch those workouts, a lot of people always say, oh my gosh, you look like you're barely jumping. You're barely jumping. You're barely jumping. Yeah, you don't barely need to jump, okay? And that's how you're going to protect your knees, your joints, your ankles, all of those things. And this is the reason why it makes it safer than running and jogging. Because when you're running and jogging, you have to pound. You have to pound. You have to pound. When you're jumping, you are pounding, but it's a very short pound, okay? Also, too, you want to jump on your toes only. You do not want to jump on your whole foot. When you jump on your whole foot, now you're becoming susceptible to more calf pain, Achilles, and planters, and all of that other stuff. So you just want to jump on your very toes. And you want to, like I said, you don't want to land hard. You want to try to make those jumps as soft as possible, because the harder you jump, the more impact you're putting on your bones and joints and ankles, okay? Yes. Number 3, do not jump on hard surfaces, okay? I did a video last week talking about knees, okay, and how to preserve your knee, and I went more into depth there. But you want to make sure that you jump on a surface that absorbs shock. And those kind of surfaces can be a wood floor, or those surfaces can be a rubber turf. If you don't have either, you can jump on a jump rope mat because it absorbs shock, okay? If you're concerned about your knees, your ankles, your joints, your feet, all of that stuff, do not jump on concrete. It's just too much. Like, there's no bounce back, okay? And that's basically what absorbent shock is. It's bounce back. Something that'll kind of take the pressure off of your feet when you are jumping, okay? Now, if you have no choice in the type of surface that you're jumping on, make sure you at least have shoes that absorb shock, okay? So something not like a Chucks or Converse or a boxing shoe or barefoot. You want to wear shoes that absorb shock. But to avoid all injury, I would say jump on a wood floor, a rubber turf, or a mat, okay? Number 4, do not do too much too soon. Do not do too much too soon. So a lot of times, you know, at the beginning of the video, I told y'all some of the benefits of jumping rope, and they're phenomenal. Like when I say 10 minutes of jump rope is equivalent to a 30-minute jog on a treadmill, people are like, oh my God, yes! And they're ready. It's like they're turned up. Like, yes, let's do this today, tomorrow, and forevermore. No, you have to take your time, okay? Just like with any exercise, when you begin any exercise, you're going to have to go through those growing pains. Your body's going to have to get used to it. Like, I've been out of the gym since February this year, okay? For those that watch replay, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. About 7 months I've been out the gym. Now, if I decide to go to the gym tomorrow, and I try to do a workout that I was doing 7 months ago that I haven't even touched like since the 7 months I've been out, of course my body is going to go through like this period of like soreness, okay? Now, let me tell you, there is a difference between sore and pain, okay? The difference between sore and pain. The soreness is going to come because I haven't done that exercise in 7 months. Now, pain, you know, it's a different story. Y'all should know the difference between soreness and pain. So if you haven't jumped for a while, or if it's your first time, or if you don't jump at the intensity that, you know, someone may teach you or that you're watching, your body is naturally going to be sore, and especially your calves. Like, your jump rope will, like, it works your whole body. So like I always tell my classes, I'm like, look, we're going to kumbaya today, and y'all going to be cursing me out tomorrow. Because a lot of people that may come to my classes, number one, they either jump, but not at the level of the things that we do in a class, or B, it may be something new. And like I said, when it's something new, your body has to take time to get used to it. So do not do too much too soon. If you're just starting, take baby steps, okay? Take the baby steps. Number 5, do not jump with loose hair, loose clothing, loose jewelry. I know that you may see some people do it online, but these are people that's been jumping for a while, okay? And they kind of know the placement of their hair and the clothing and the jewelry and things like that. So when you're jumping, you want to try to, don't jump in like pants that's too baggy, or a shirt that's too baggy, or if you're going to have your hair, tie it up or put it in a bun. Try to avoid wearing earrings, at least until you're used to it. You know, like if this is something new to you, the rope, once your hair starts swinging, boom, you're going to get smacked. Or the pants may be too much, or the baggy shirt may be too much, and it'll get caught. It'll either mess up your form, A, because now you're distracted by the looseness of the clothes, or B, you're going to end up hitting yourself because something was too loose. So just try to avoid loose clothing, jewelry, and clothing, shoestrings, things like that. Number 6, you do not want to grip the jump rope handles too tightly or too loosely. So if you're gripping the handles too tight, your hands are gonna cramp up, okay? And it's like you're working extra muscles, and that's gonna tire your arm. And now too loosely, you don't want to hold it too loosely because you don't want the rope to slip out of your hand, okay? So that's kind of self-explanatory. Number 7, you do not want to make large circles with your arms, okay? When you're you're turning, you do not need to use your whole arm like when you're a little kid and you're just like trying to like learning how to jump. You want to make sure your elbows are at your sides and you're using your wrist. You're making small turns with your wrist, okay? That's the only part of your arm that you should be using. If you start to do things with your shoulders, you're susceptible to injury. We don't want that, okay? Number eight, warm up, stretch. Warm up, stretch. Very important. So when your body is getting ready to exercise, you want to do things to get your body warm and ready. Now, when it comes to jump rope, I wouldn't suggest like the long stretching. So if like, say if you're going to touch your toes, you just want to like touch your toes and come right back up. You don't want to stay there because you don't want to pull something before you're completely warmed up. So for me, I would usually do like maybe some boxing punches, some kicks. If you want, you can add push-ups or squats or a plank or things like that. But I like to stick to like just moving to get my body warm. So a lot of times I'll do like some punches. I'll do a set of like the right, left. I'll do a set of uppercuts. I'll do a set of hooks. I'll do some front kicks, and then I'll repeat that cycle again, and then I'll do like some footwork. So I'll do like the jump rope, the basic jump rope footwork. I'll do a couple of sets of that, and then from there my body is warm, okay? And then stretch afterwards. So the body part that takes the hit the most in jump rope are your calves, okay? And let me tell you something. If your calves, like say you go like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days of jumping and not stretching your calves become tight. And as a result of tight calves, it starts to affect your knees, okay? So if you watch the video from last week, which is right now pinned in the announcements, which is going to come unpinned once this video is done, okay? But everything supports your knees. So you have your calves, you have your quads, you have your hams, you have your hips, you have your glutes. All of those muscles are the supporting cast of your knee. And if these muscles are not strong, guess what? Your knee is not going to be that strong, okay? So you want to make sure you warm up before you jump rope, you stretch after you jump rope, okay? Number 9, you do not want to jump in crowded spaces. So that's a little bit self-explanatory. You want to make sure when you're jumping that you can take your arms, I'm sorry, you can't see, and hold them out across and turn to the side, hold them out across. That's how much space you should have between you and people around you or other jump ropers, okay? And number 10, my favorite one. Do not skip the basics. Do not skip the basics. And that kind of ties into number 4, doing too much too soon. But 10, do not skip the basics. Yes, jump rope is phenomenal. Jump rope is great. Jump rope is individual. There's so many different styles of jump rope. There's so many different things that you can do. But you do not want to skip the basics. You want to make sure that you have the basic jump down pack, that you have some footwork down pack, that you can maybe jump in different directions. You want to make sure that you have the basics down. You want to make sure you know how to breathe. You want to make sure you know how to pace yourself. You want to make sure you have your correct rhythm, your correct timing, your correct stamina, your correct speed. You want to have all of these things in place before trying to do all of this fancy stuff, okay? The fancy stuff will come in time, but you want to master the basics. Also, when you master the basics, you'll be conditioned enough to do a lot of the other tricks. Now, if you cannot string together 100 jumps, right? How are you even going to have, and let me tell you something, 100 jumps can take from 35 to 45 seconds to do. So if you cannot string together like 100 basic jumps, how are you going to string together, how are you going to string together a couple of tricks, okay? Tricks take more energy from you, take more energy out of you, and you need to have that stamina, which is why I always emphasize doing your sets of 100 jumps. Even me, I do them every day, like 3 to 5 days a week. I do 10 sets of 100 jumps. Why? Because it helps with my stamina, my conditioning, my timing, my speed. You know, it just keeps me in check. You know, you can't skip the basics. Like when I'm doing all of those tricks, even if it's for 15 seconds, that takes a lot out of you, okay? It takes a lot. So, like I said, it don't look like it because I'm like, hee. Yes, but it takes a lot out of you. So you want to make sure that you master the basics, okay? So If you have questions, put them in here now. So once again, I'm going to review the 10 ways that you can avoid jump rope injury. Number 1, do not jump with a rope that's too long or too short. Number 2, do not jump too high or land incorrectly. Number 3, do not jump on hard surfaces. Number 4, do not do too much too soon. Number 5, do not jump with loose hair, clothing, or jewelry, shoelaces. Number 6, do not grip the rope too loose or too tight or too light. Number 7, do not make large circles with the arms. Number 8, warm up before, stretch afterwards. Number 9, do not jump in crowded spaces. And number 10, do not skip the basics. Presentation done. Cut.